Hey everyone! So I just wanted to make another video like I mentioned in the post I made about my Ireland trip that I posted a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to make a video talking about the company called EF Collegebreak that I use for the trip. That's how I went on this trip. So yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go into first of all, is it a scam? Because I first originally saw an ad about it on Facebook, so I wasn't sure if this was a legit company or not. And then the second thing is everything you get worth the price that you're paying? So those are kind of the two things that I wanted to talk about today and hopefully help anyone who has maybe seen them or hasn't heard of them or whatever and is interested in doing this. Also, it should be in the description of this video or something. As a repeat traveler, which would be me now, exciting, you get a discount for your next trip. And also when you refer a friend, if you refer a friend, you send them this link, usually to their email, I think, and it sends them the link, and then they have to go through that link to EF Collegebreak, and then if they sign up, I believe the friend that you referred gets $100 off their trip, and then you who referred them also gets $100 towards. So you who referred them, if you are in the middle of paying for a trip, you'll get $100 off that trip per person you refer. But if you're not currently paying for a trip, then I believe you get a $100 credit towards a next trip or something like that. So it's pretty cool. So I'll have that link down. I'll have the explanation in the description of this video, so if anybody's interested in going on a trip, just let me know and you can get money off, and then I can get money off too, and everybody wins. Okay, so first part of this video, this company is called EF Collegebreak, and it stands for Education First College Break. So you do go on, it is meant to be more of an educational experience type thing. It's not a study abroad or anything like that, but they do take you to places with history. They have local tour guides as well as your overall tour guide who just has a lot of information about the cities and the places that you're going. So it is supposed to be more of not educational, but more informational and experiences type thing, whereas it's not a, okay, here's the thing, it's not a vacation, and I think that's what is the big difference between it. It's a tour and not a vacation. So when you go on vacation with your family, your friends, whatever, you go and you do a couple things, but you're mostly relaxing and not, you don't really have a timeline or itinerary or agenda. You usually go on vacation to relax. This is a tour, so there is an itinerary from the get-go. You get a little bit more of a detailed itinerary the closer it is to your trip, but you are doing stuff almost every day. It's not crazy going and doing every 30 minutes, but it is, there's at least one thing that's planned for the group to do during the day. The only day that we had that nothing was planned was I went on a trip that was over New Year's Eve. So obviously the day after New Year's Eve, so on New Year's Day, they had an optional excursion that you could go on, but they just ended up canceling it because it was at 8 a.m. on New Year's Day and nobody would have made it. So, but I think if you go on a trip that's not over New Year's Eve, then there is something planned for every day. So that's kind of what the company is. Is it legit? Yes, it is 100% a legitimate company. I'll preface, I had an amazing time, and I don't think I could have done or seen or had the same experiences without going through this company. So the company is legitimate. Their headquarters, so their offices are based out of Boston in the US. That's the only office I believe they have, and that's where all of their customer representatives and tour planners, I guess they're called. That's where they all sit. So all of them are American, who are like kind of the behind the scenes of this company. But all of the tour guides are, and all of the local tour guides are obviously local and live in the country or the city that you're going to be visiting. So the logistics of EF Collegebreak is, it's for anyone who wants to travel between 18 and 28 years old. I know in the description it says college break on it, but you don't have to be in college to go on this trip. It's just an 18 to 28 year old. I think they say that because it is marketed to those college students who don't have all the money in the world to travel and go everywhere they want, but they do still want to travel. So I think that's why it has college in the name. But so it's for anyone 18 to 28. Whenever you do sign up, so you go on their website and you first choose like a departure city where you want to go to. I honestly believe that they have every airport on the list. If they don't, I would be surprised. It'd have to be like a teeny tiny airport. I think my friends flew out of Midland, Texas, which is a tiny airport to begin with. So I'm pretty sure you can fly out of almost any airport. If not, if there isn't, you could probably contact them and say, hey, like, I'd really rather fly out of this airport. Your trip price might increase just a little bit because flying into those teeny tiny airports does usually cost more. But if that's something that you're willing to do versus, you know, traveling to a bigger airport, then that's something that you can talk to them about. So you go and you choose your departure city, and then it shows you, and then you can choose like a specific month that you want. You can just choose like during the year. You can get like as specific as you want, and it'll show you all of the trips that are available. There's so many trips everywhere. You have a lot of trips, but it's mostly focused in Europe. Like, you know, it's mostly focused in Europe. Those are the main trips. They have one in South America. They have a couple to Australia. There's a couple to like China and Japan and Thailand if you want to go more of the Asian route on that. But for the most part, they are trips to Europe, but all over Europe. And that's the thing, they have different trips ranging in price range and ranging in like number of days that the trip is and number of cities that you see, and it's not just one country that you have to stay in. Most of the trips actually go throughout many countries. So once you can just click on them, and it gives you photos, videos, an itinerary of what's planned to come, so you can kind of see like if this is something that you want to do. And then you have to choose specific dates to go, and that will give you the exact price that you will pay. So to pay, you'll get the overall fee that you have to pay, but when you want to sign up, it's only $150 down. So whenever you sign up, the only thing you have to pay is $150. And after that, you can sign up for either automatic payment plans or manual payment plans. And the automatic payment plans you can set up either monthly or bi-monthly. So you can pay it off, or you can so if you do set up these automatic payment plans, which is what I did, and I just did mine monthly and it worked fine for my budget, but say like you had some extra cash, like you got your tax refund in the mail or something, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this all to my trip. You can make manual payments on top of those automatic payments to try and pay off your trip sooner, and so then your monthly payments or bi-monthly payments or whatever you're doing would decrease in price. So you can it's kind of it's a pay-as-you-go system. So you will be paid up by the time you leave. That's like one of their things that has to be done. You have to be paid up by the time you leave. Okay, so kind of like what I did, not talking about the logistics, I went on the Grand Tour of Ireland trip. That was 9 days, and we went to 3 different cities. We technically went to so many more cities, but we stayed the night in only 3 cities. So we stayed in Dublin, Galway, and County Kerry. And then we flew out of Shannon. I think it was just the nearest airport when we were leaving. I had an amazing time. I honestly don't know when I would have ever gone to Ireland again, so I think that's one of the reasons why my friends and I chose this trip. If you want to see my adventure and everywhere I went, you can watch my Ireland vlog. I'll have that in my description as well, so you can check it out. But I was just over the moon with our tour director. He was amazing. He made the trip worthwhile. And because the tour director is such a big part of your trip. Like, they plan everything for it. You're with them every day. They're the ones who are taking you everywhere, usually showing you around, giving you facts, you know, giving you advice for local bars and places to go and that kind of thing. So the tour director definitely can make the trip, and ours did. He was amazing. Shout out Gavin. If you go on the Grand Tour of Ireland trip, if you get Gavin, he is amazing. Amazing person. Just such a great personality and amazing spirit about him. So you sign up for a trip that you want, right? You make your monthly payment plans, or you sign up to make your monthly payment plans, or however you're going to pay for it, right? You honestly, and this is the hardest part, you won't get any more like detailed information than what you can just find about the trip, like already. You won't get any more detailed information until 30 days out from your trip, and it's so hard to wait. My friends and I signed up in February of 2016, and our trip wasn't until December 29th of 2016, and it was so hard waiting to know. But it honestly kind of slips your mind that, like, until you get that payment that hits your bank account, you're like, oh yeah, I'm paying for that. But so it kind of slips your mind for a while, but then, like, once the date comes closer, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But so that's the hardest part. But you will get these details about your flight details and where you're staying, like the phone numbers, everything about them, 30 days out from your trip. So, and they'll send you like an email about it all too. And they also create a Facebook group that's just for your like specific trip. So like, we had a Facebook group that was for Grand Tour of Ireland, departs 12/29, and like got back whatever. So it's just the people who you're going to be going. By the way, my cat decided to make an appearance. Yes, hello Amos. So, oh, there he goes. A notification that says, you know, your trip details have been posted, and you get so excited. So you go, you look, and that's where you'll find your flight information and your accommodations. You want to make sure you look at these as soon as you can, because if something was misspelled or they accidentally put you out of like an airport that's halfway across the country, you know, you want to make sure that everything is correct and, you know, make sure that's okay. And so I think they did do a really good job of making sure that you weren't traveling like all day long. You didn't have like 3 layovers, you know, it wasn't like they found like the cheapest flight possible. I think they did do a good job of finding the most direct flight and making sure that you weren't traveling for too long. So on the trip details, you can see where you're staying, like your accommodations. So we stayed in 2 hotels and 1 hostel. The first hotel was more like a hostel, I thought, in my opinion, than a hotel, but it was fine. The second one was a traditional hotel. I think it was like a Holiday Inn. I think it was a Holiday Inn. And the third one was definitely a hostel. There was like 6 people in a room, you know, that kind of thing. But hey, that's what traveling is about to me. I don't know. It's not about where you're staying. You're not going to be locked up in your room all day. You really shouldn't be in your room all day. So it's just a place to sleep. But there was also a ton of solo travelers on my trip. I would honestly say about half came with somebody that they knew, and then half were solo travelers. And I think everybody did a great job of getting along and making sure no one was left out of the group. I think everybody found someone, you know, that they could hang out with or, you know, explore the city with. So that wasn't like an issue. So if you're looking to solo travel, I think this is also a great opportunity, because I would guarantee that you would not be the only solo traveler on the trip, and you would definitely find other people to, you know, enjoy this experience with. Yeah, I mean, like, overall, I definitely think that this trip and the price I paid was completely worth it. I looked up some flights from like Houston to Ireland, and like the pricing, and it was just the flight itself was about half the price of my entire trip through EF Collegebreak. So yeah, it's like, okay, that's only half, but when you think about like all of the hotel accommodations, all the accommodations they've made for you and all of your transportation is taken care of. We rode around in a coach bus the entire time whenever we went somewhere, and then just all of like the experiences and like activities that they book for you. So like when we were there, we went to the Guinness Storehouse and we went to Blarney Castle, and like all of those things obviously have to be paid for. So I think when you factor in all of, you know, the other things that come along with this trip, I think the price was definitely worth it. Especially when, and I'm going to say this because I think EF Collegebreak is a great way for you to travel if you've never been somewhere and want to see like major like landmarks or major things from that country or city. If you have traveled to a country before and you kind of have seen all the major attractions and kind of done the touristy things and you're thinking about going back, I wouldn't suggest EF Collegebreak for that trip, because you do really only see like major attractions and kind of the more touristy things on this trip, just because obviously those are the main attractions in the cities and countries that you're going to, and there's really just not that much time to kind of, you know, go see those little things like as a group. As by yourself, if you want to go see that, if you have some free time, there's free time to go do that, you know. But if you have already been to this country, like I've already been to Italy and I've seen like basically all the main attractions in Italy, so I don't think I would ever pay to go on a trip to Italy through EF Collegebreak, because I know they'd probably take the group to the places that I've already seen, and like if whenever I go back to Italy, I kind of want to, you know, go see more of the off the route kind of, you know, smaller city type things, and make it a little more specialized, like what I would want to do. With that being said though, like I said, if you haven't been somewhere, it's amazing because the tour guide knows all the places to go, make great suggestions, and can get you into those weird attractions that maybe it might be hard to get into or find out about or get tickets to, just being like going and traveling like not with a tour company. So I think honestly that's one of the major benefits of doing it through this company. They know the area, the tour guides know the area, they know all of the cool things to do and kind of like how the best way to go about them and all that kind of thing. So yeah, like I said, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to go into a little further detail about the trip I went on or just the whole process of EF Collegebreak. And like I said, I'll put that refer a friend link or description or whatever in the comments or the descriptions. That way if you are interested, you can try and save some money if you do plan on going. I really hope this helped and like explain about the company and the process and the whole experience and the whole overall like process of it. I hope this helps. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!